It's Wednesday, September 11. In the headlines, more than $13 million in grants have been disbursed for persons affected by Hurricane Beryl. Nomination day for St. Ann Northeastern by-election. In business news, the Development Bank of Jamaica takes aim with the launch of its Trade Person Ownership Opportunity Loan or TOOL program. Regionally, Trinidad and Tobago looks at moving the region toward sustainable energy. And in sports, Reggae Boys clipped Honduras 2-1 on Tuesday night. This is the news on PBC Jamaica. I'm Simone Absalom Gale. Matthew Samuda was successfully nominated as the sole candidate for the by-election in the constituency of St. Ann Northeastern. On nomination day, any person wishing to contest the election is required to fill out a nomination form signed by any 10 or more electors registered to vote in the constituency. Return the form to the returning officer between the hours of 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. and pay the nomination fee of $15,000. Subject to the provisions of the Constitution of Jamaica, Sections 39 and 40, any person seeking to enter as a candidate to sit in the House of Representatives should, inter alia, be a citizen of Jamaica, resident in Jamaica for at least 12 months prior to the date of nomination, or a Commonwealth citizen who has resided in Jamaica for at least 12 months prior to the nomination date and be at least 21 years of age. More than $13 million in grants have been disbursed to Hurricane Beryl victims under the government's Rebuild Jamaica initiative. Minister of Labor and Social Security Pernell Charles Jr. underscored that the $1 billion initiative is predicated on more than just infrastructure recovery. He gave an update on this and various activities of his ministry at this week's post-cabinet press brief. According to Minister Charles Jr., over $1 billion has been allocated for relief efforts. Over 13,000 people have been assessed for damage.
Persons with minor damage will receive $50,000. Persons with major damage, $150,000. And those whose house were totally destroyed will receive $400,000 in two tranches, $200 and then $200 after an assessment is done.
He says a number of persons have not been validated.
And that process includes us going through the contact information, your name, your number, your address, as well as validating your TRN. What this has exposed is that a little under 5,000 of the 13,500 we have not been able to validate the TRN.
He says in some cases, some persons lost their TRN cards during the hurricane.
We have been going through a process now of re-verification, reaching out to persons by phone, calling members of the community on their street, talking to the MPs, to the councillors, going back into the community. And so far, we have been able to at least validate of the 13,500, a little more than 7,000. Good news is that of that amount that we have validated, 100% of the validated beneficiaries, those checks have been printed.
He says of that amount, more than 50% have been delivered. As the new school year begins, more students with special needs are enrolling in private institutions. Minister of Education and Youth Favor Williams revealed that 195 additional students have joined private schools this year. She made the announcement during last week's post-cabinet press briefing.
Just add to our understanding of these realities. Firstly, I want to note that there has been an increase in the number of students with special needs who've been placed in private institutions for special needs students. We have an additional 195 students enrolled in private schools who will be supported by the ministry. This brings the total number of students in private institutions for special needs to about 460 for the upcoming school year. Of note, there are public spaces in our public schools available that cater to specific challenges and disabilities, but in the unlikely event that the needs are greater, we place them in one of 17 private schools with which we have established partnerships.
Minister Williams also highlighted a rise in the number of special education needs assistants across the country, with a total now reaching 759.
Secondly, there's an increase in the number of shadows, but we don't call them shadows anymore. Shadows are those persons who would be with your child to, from school and within school. So the new name for shadows is Special Education Needs Assistants. SENAs. I hope, I'm sure we'll become used to that word, and they are in our schools. We have 338 new SENAs, bringing the total across all regions to 759. We've also been able to top up the salaries a bit. Senators were getting about $40,000. We moved that to $60,000. Yes, we're not bowling it out of the park, but it's a move in the right direction.
In addition, the ministry has partnered with the Heart NSTA Trust to certify all SENAs, ensuring they're fully equipped to support students with special needs.
We have also done some alignment of courses with Heart so that our SENAs will be able to receive certification with a level 1, 2, or 3 in the very near future. And that would allow our SENAs access to education in schools and so on. And we believe that's a good benefit.
A contingent of 20 Jamaica Defense Force personnel and 4 from the Jamaica Constabulary Force will land in Haiti come Thursday as part of a multinational security force. The move to send officers to Haiti is part of an international effort aimed at restoring stability to the violence-torn Caribbean nation. Making the announcement during Tuesday's post-cabinet press briefing at Jamaica House in St. Andrew, the Prime Minister said the personnel, while in Haiti, will provide command, planning, and logistics support. He made the announcement at Tuesday's post-cabinet press brief. Prime Minister Andrew Holness says Jamaica has an interest to supporting a long-standing resolution to the problems in Haiti.
Jamaica also has a national security interest in the situation in Haiti, one of our closest neighbors. It is in our interest to support a long-lasting resolution to the problems in Haiti. Here in Jamaica, we see the growing entrenchment of gangs who organize the production of armed violence with a view to economic gain, spreading terror in communities and weakening the state's guarantee to citizens' security.
The Prime Minister says that Haiti is an example of what could happen if states and governments do not take the problem of gangs seriously and put in place the measures and resources necessary to bring the problem under control.
We see this as an evolving existential threat to law and order and the proper functioning of institutions of the state, not only in Jamaica, but in several countries across the region. It is a regional problem. The threat of gangs must not be viewed as only a citizen-to-citizen problem. where regular policing and the criminal justice system would be sufficient to address the problem. The threat is at a level in the region where gangs and organized armed violence they produce is a threat to the very state. Haiti is the example of what could happen.
Mr. Holness commended the members of the security forces who will be deployed to Haiti.
I wish to thank the members of the security forces who will be deploying to Haiti, and I wish them well, and obviously we pray for their safety and security. I know their conduct will be exemplary, and they will take every precaution for their personal safety. I also want to acknowledge the support of our international partners, the US and Canada in particular, and the work of CARICOM in supporting the process in Haiti.
Earlier this year, Jamaica, with the support of the United States and Canada, brought other CARICOM personnel together, along with Jamaica's own forces, to begin training for deployment to Haiti. In a reminder from the Tax Administration Jamaica to business persons, your third quarter estimated corporate income tax and self-employed statutory payments, usually due on September 15, are now due on Monday, September 16, 2024, as the 15th falls on a weekend. This includes estimated corporate tax third quarter, self-employed statutory payments third quarter, stamp duty third quarter, trade license withholding tax. Additionally, employers' monthly statutory payroll deductions SO1 for August are due on September 16 for the same reason. The TAJ is offering a range of convenient payment options. Payment can be made through direct fund transfer, online via the TAJ website, or even through select banks like Scotia and NCB. You can still visit any of the 28 tax offices if needed. Paying online can also earn employers an employment tax credit, so don't delay. For more details, you can visit jamaicatax.gov.jm or call 888-TAX-HELP. Time now for the Business Report with Denise Williams.
Good day, everyone, and thank you for joining us on the Business Report. I'm Denise Williams, your guide through the latest happenings in the world of business. The Development Bank of Jamaica, DBJ, will be targeting local tradespersons during the promotion of its recently launched Tradesperson Ownership Opportunity Loan Program, or TOOL. The Tool Roadshow will be on location with suppliers partnering with DBJ, such as Delta Supply Company, K-Ban Hardware, National Supply Company, SCL Jamaica, Rapid True Value, Total Tools, and Hypro. During the roadshows, participants can benefit from special discounts on select tools, giveaways, and prizes. Attendees will also be able to meet with microfinance institutions who are offering tool loans, including Exim Bank, Lasco Microfinance, Bull Investments, Jane Bank, and Regions Financial Services, to secure details on how to access loans of up to $500,000 to purchase tools, enhance their productivity, and grow their business. Caribbean Flavors and Fragrances Limited has declared a dividend of 5 Jamaican cents per share payable on October 11, 2024 to shareholders on record as at September 20, 2024. The ex-dividend date is September 20, 2024. Mayberry Investments Limited announces that its 10.75% secured bonds due 2025 have been oversubscribed, and its board has chosen to close the subscription list early on September 10, 2024 at 4:30 p.m. The basis of allotment of the 10.75% secured bonds due 2025 will be published on the Jamaica Stock Exchange website at www.jamstockx.com. During trading for the period of September 10, 2024, the following companies represent the top 3 most active stocks that investors bought and sold on the Jamaica Stock Exchange. Toll road operator Trans-Jamaican Highway Limited with 4,174,947 units represented 25.87% of the total market volume in terms of sales. Once again, Trans-Jamaica Highway Limited 8% shares with 2,007,679 units represented 12.44% of the total market volume in terms of sales. Retail giant Fontana Limited with 1,700,059 units represent 10.53% of the total market volume in terms of sales. Moving from the money moves of investors, executives, and companies on the stock market, we turn to the Forex market. On September 11, 2024, the Bank of Jamaica reported that US $60.3 million was bought from Forex traders, while US $64.38 million was sold to Forex traders. Buying directly from the Bank of Jamaica, foreign currency traders sold the US dollar for $158.65 and bought the US dollar for $156.98. The difference between the buy and sell rate was $1.67, which represents a profit for Forex traders for every US dollar traded. Canadian Forex traders earned a trading profit of $2 from transactions with the Bank of Jamaica. The Canadian dollar was sold at $117.47 and bought for $115.47. For traders looking at the British pound, they pocketed a profit of $7.47, selling it for $208.32 and buying it for $200.85. For our credit report tip of the day, we want you to know that for retirement planning, leveraging your credit can be a powerful tool to catch up. We offer 2 strategies. Avoid opening new credit accounts. Limit opening new accounts, which can reduce your average account age and negatively affect your score. Focus on building your existing credit lines. Increase your credit limits. Ask for a credit limit increase on existing cards, but avoid using the extra credit. This can lower your credit utilization ratio and enhance your score. And with that, we wrap up today's business report. I'm Denise Williams. Appreciate your company. Stay well informed, stay ahead of the curve. Until our next update, take care.
In regional news from Trinidad and Tobago, they dive into the Caribbean's push toward green energy and explore how it can pave the way for a more climate resilient and developmentally sustainable future.
Former Energy Secretary of Panama, Rosalina Lindo Riggs, offered a strong argument for the Latin America and Caribbean region to push towards sustainable development. Ms. Riggs was a panelist at the University of the West Indies KFL campus. The topic was energy injustice in Latin America and the Caribbean.
In the last carbon zero analysis that the UN Environment Program did, it evaluate the potential of savings by implementing a full renewable energy transition in Latin America and the Caribbean. And the potential saving in US dollars is 30,000 million US dollars.
Ms. Riggs noted, since the pandemic, there has been a rise in incidence of respiratory ailments.
If we are talking about finding resources, by saving the health budget, we will find the resources. Also, Dr. Moore said at the beginning of his presentation that the price of electricity is very high. By implementing the energy transition in Latin America and the Caribbean, we can save up to here to 2050 more than 223 billion US dollars.
Panama's former energy secretary shared her country's experiences with climate change initiatives.
In Panama, we provide $150 million in subsidies for the electricity sector, and we are implementing a new program, not to subsidize the electricity, but the families that consume less than 300 kilowatts hour monthly are receiving the solar panel, and we are discounting the subsidy for that family and transforming that to acquire the technology.
The average cost of electricity in Latin America and the Caribbean is around 22 cents US.
Something that we need to work more on, mainly in the Caribbean zone, is how we are going to enforce and to increase the resiliency of our energy infrastructure.
In Guyana, on Tuesday, the Ministry of Education launched a revised mathematics intervention program aimed at enhancing Guyana's national math performance at the Caribbean Secondary Education Certificate (CSEC) level.
The launch of the Mathematics Intervention Program for secondary schools was held at the Cyril Potter College of Education on Tuesday. 50 individuals, including retired math teachers, those with math degrees and university lecturers, will monitor classrooms to ensure effective teaching. Mathematics, a critical subject for many, experienced a decrease in its pass rate, failing from 34% last year to 31% this year. The schools selected for this program were chosen based on their historically low math pass rate, such as grade 4 at CSEC. The ministry aims to achieve a 45 to 50% pass rate in math through this initiative. Chief Education Officer Saddam Hussein, who once criticized the previous initiative, now believes the new program will yield significant improvement.
Let me say, as a former critic of this initiative has worked. And it will work. There are a number of new things which are now added, and I am very, very optimistic that this will bring significant changes in the maths results. For the first time, maybe in the history of this country, teachers and schools are going to be held accountable for the results. In Guyana's education system, you could do anything and get away with it. But if you teach for 10 years and no student passes under your watch, there is really little or nothing that could be done. And this is really a problem.
Key components of the program include standardized diagnostic tests, national mock exams, fortnightly worksheets, and twice weekly math lessons on the Guyana Learning Channel. Additionally, students will have access to a dedicated hotline 736 MAT to report any issues with their math instruction. The measures announced are designed to achieve short-term improvements in math performance. Long-term plans include offering math specialization for primary teachers starting in September this year. Minister of Education Priya Manikchan also addressed the issue, highlighting that mathematics is a regional and international challenge.
The world has a problem with mathematics and English, and that has been written about and spoken about. Guyana has to deal with both, and not necessarily while we wait on our Caribbean counterparts to put up a solution.
She noted that a previous intervention had raised schools' math performance by at least 10% in recent years. Manikchan also highlighted that the monitors will also be assessed on their performance, while parents were encouraged to support their children's engagement with the program. Students in the participating schools will receive essential resources, including past math papers, scientific calculators, geometry sets, and textbooks. For Newsroom, Isanella Patwo.
Debate is underway in Antigua and Barbuda's Parliament's lower house on new legislation aimed at tackling the recent surge in violent crime. Lawmakers are focusing on the Anti-Gang Bill 2024, which seeks to impose tougher penalties on gang membership and recruitment in an effort to curb growing gang activity. Shanakisha Francis has the details.
We have determined that to stop the spread of gangs in this place, we will enact as one of the measures an anti-gang law. This one, Mr. Speaker, is present in Jamaica, Trinidad, Barbados, and other countries. We're bringing it here in Antigua to protect our shores.
The Anti-Gang Bill 2024 is among a suite of legislative measures to clamp down on an uptick in violent crimes. The aim is to impose tough penalties for involvement in gangland activity and the recruitment of others into these gangs. Under this legislation, a gang leader commits an offense and is liable on conviction on indictment to a term of imprisonment not exceeding 15 years, while a member of the gang gets a term not exceeding 10 years. A person who recruits another person to a gang commits an offense and is liable on summary conviction to imprisonment for a term of imprisonment not exceeding 5 years, or on conviction on indictment to a term of imprisonment not exceeding 10 years. A person who recruits a child to a gang gets a 5-year sentence on summary conviction and 10 years on conviction on indictment.
We have to try and find alternative methods for them to live and to get out of the gang. In fact, several of them said they want to go back to school.
Minister Matthew explained the government is exploring multiple avenues to help to steer youth clear of violence by supporting the redevelopment of multiple social clubs and youth groups.
Be so bold, Mr. Prime Minister, to commit the government to supporting them in their youth outreach activities. Just let us know what it is that the government can do to help them to rebuild their organizations.
Opposition member Honorable Richard Lewis commended the government for their stance on this bill and further added the importance of family.
And so we need to fix the family. We need to fix the family. Socialization begins in the home. That's where it starts. And if there's a breakdown in the home, if there's a breakdown in the family structure, then we have a serious problem.
The need for church intervention was a major point of focus in Prime Minister Honorable Gaston Brown's contribution to the debate, as he emphasized the need to mandate morning devotions in public schools.
It will be strictly enforced that within the public schools, they will have to have devotions in the mornings, and we expect them to rotate those who participate, the church leaders, so that within that maybe 10, 15, 20 minutes, they'll be able to leave them a sound message.
Shanikisha Francis, ABS News.
In sports, we kick off with football. Jamaica's Reggae Boys clipped Honduras 2-1 on Tuesday night to record their first victory in the CONCACAF Nations League. The win places the team at the top of the CONCACAF Nations League Group B alongside Nicaragua. The Reggae Boys got a 49th-minute lead via an own goal from Daniel Maldonado before the home team leveled through David Reyes in the 50th minute. The Jamaicans scored maximum points, courtesy of Michael Antonio, who converted a 76th-minute penalty. The Reggae Boys will have their next assignment in the Nations League away to Nicaragua on October 10. On to athletics. Jamaican sprint star Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce is to be presented with the keys to the city of Kingston by the Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation, the KSAMC. The presentation of the keys to the city is the highest honor that can be bestowed by the KSAMC. The council says it is being conferred on the multiple-time Olympic and world champion in recognition of her iconic career in athletics over the years that has inspired thousands of people. Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce is widely revered as one of Jamaica's greatest athletes, with more than 22 years of stellar performance in the 60, 100, 200, and 4x100 meter track events, and is a recipient of countless medals. That's it for the news on PBCJ. You can follow us on our social media platforms at PBCJamaica. Thanks for watching.